Shelbourne were enjoying a 6-game winning streak and were getting further and further away at the top of the table. Bohs were struggling. Roddy Collins' job was on the line, and the next opponents were Shamrock Rovers at the Morton Stadium, a game no Bohs fan will ever forget.
I'm a Bohs man.
This fixture has been kind to Shamrock Rovers in recent years, with just one defeat in their last 14 league meetings against Bohemians. 2 goals by Sean Francis gave Rovers a much-needed win in Cork last Wednesday, and Brian Byrne comes back today after missing that game through suspension. Gareth Cronin came through a late fitness test and captains the side, but Billy Woods moves back to defence as Tommy Dunn has a calf strain. Shane Robinson continues on the right of midfield in the continued absence of Mark Kenny. Mark Rutherford has returned to the Aircom League from Newrytown and should give Bohemians much-needed width down the left, while Alex Nesovic, recently signed from Finn Harps, scored on his debut in the Cup win over Drogheda 3 weeks ago. Simon Webb has recovered from a tummy bug and plays in this 4-4-2 formation. The defence and midfield are the strongest available. Nesovic is joined by Crow up front, with Trevor Malloy relegated to the substitutes bench. Our referee for today is from Dublin, John Ferry. All Dublin officials on a very soft and gluey Morton Stadium pitch, one of the narrowest in the league. And down goes Pat Deans under that challenge from Alex Nesovic. Nesovic, a Yugoslav by nationality, clashing there with Pat Deans. Missed descending here in Santry as Brian Byrne tries to turn Tony O'Connor. That last touch the Bohemians defender. It'll be a game's first corner kick, and it's come just after a couple of minutes. Billy Woods takes, headed goalwards by Byrne. There's Grant, and it's there! 2 minutes and 17 seconds, that's all it's taken. And Shamrock Rovers take the lead through Tony Grant. His 4th league goal, his 8th in all competitions. And what a boost for Shamrock Rovers early on here in the Morton Stadium, and you can see how pleased their fans are with that. All came from the corner kick from Woods. Wasn't dealt with by the Bohs defence. There was Grant through the legs of Simon Webb, and it's Shamrock Rovers 1, Bohemians 0. Hill missed it, Grant turned, 1-0. Palmer. Caldwell battling with Hunt and losing out. Rutherford leaves it for his captain, Kevin Hunt. It's to Tony O'Connor. Morrison. Bohs trying to use the full width of the pitch. Good ball in there, off the head of Cronin and over his own crossbar. First corner kick of the match for Bohemians, and Gareth Cronin had to be alive to that cross. Good one it was too from Morrison. Curling in towards the goal, always so difficult for defenders. Mara's come up from the back, and so is Hill as Hunt takes this, hauled away by Robbie Horgan. Rutherford was onto it, still the pressure from Bohs. Across the goal! Oh, Stephen Catterall, is it Dave Hill? Yes, it's Dave Hill who's got the goal. And after just 16 minutes here, we're tied up at 1-1. Dave Hill making his presence felt. Horgan didn't deal with the corner. Flicked back in by Rutherford. Then it was Crow across the 6-yard box to Hill, and we're tied up. Bohemians fans turn to cheer. Dave Hill with his first goal of the season, and it's Shamrock Rovers 1, Bohemians 1. Smith looking for Grant. Hill's there for Bohs. Breaks for Francis. Here's Shane Robinson taking on Simon Webb, gets the early cross to the far post. Good header that from Marr, very important one too. But it's broken for Pat Deans, and he can get a shot away here. Down he goes, and the referee has given a penalty kick. It's a penalty kick to Shamrock Rovers with 25 minutes gone. He had a good look at that, John Ferry, and he was very well positioned to see it too. Here's what happened. The two defenders getting in each other's way. Deans trying to engineer a space for the shot, and in goes Sean Marr, and there's not much doubt about that. Penalty to Shamrock Rovers, and a chance for them to go back in front. Meanwhile, the referee is booking Sean Marr for dissent. Obviously just too many things to say about the penalty decision. First player in the book, here's Francis with the penalty. 2-1 to Shamrock Rovers. And a third goal in 5 days for Sean Francis has put Shamrock Rovers back in front. 26 minutes gone. And these are the happy fans now. Great start to this match in Morton Stadium. Francis executing the penalty perfectly, sending Russell the wrong way. It's 2-1 to the Hoops. Cross by Morrison. The header goalwards. So close from Kevin Hunt. A man who gets precious few goals, but what a good position he got into there. It was a fine cross, and Kevin Hunt with a completely free header right in front of goal, only 7 yards maybe, and it just needed to be a yard lower and it could have been all square again. Well, Roddy Collins' side has been pretty inactive so far this year. They've only played 2 matches in January before today. Free kick goes to Bohemians. Nesevic, 27 years old, used to live in Bradford, had an apprenticeship with Leeds, was signed from Finn Harps earlier this month. Free kick from Morrison, all the way to the far post to Hill. Sliding in there was Nesevic, as Palmer couldn't clear, and Horgan saved well on the goal line. So Nesevic going so close to getting his first league goal for Bows. Again, it was the cross from Morrison that caused the consternation in the Shamrock Rovers defence. Horgan at the second attempt. Crowe battling with Palmer. Smith got there first for Rovers. And well played Pat Deans. He's done a very good impersonation of a midfield player so far, and he's found Tony Grant. Pat Deans showing all the skills of a seasoned veteran in midfield. A perfect pass this over the defence. Hill couldn't get back, neither could Webb, and that's a great finish from Tony Grant. In off the post, and it's a 2-goal cushion for Shamrock Rovers. They lead 3-1. Wonderful finishing. Russell with absolutely no chance. You'd have to say Bohemians haven't played badly at all, but they were really torn apart by a fantastic pass there from Pat Deans, and a great finish. Tony Grant on the goal line. Instructions coming from the manager as Woods takes it. Looking for Francis. Headed goalwards off the head of Hill. Back in again by Francis, and he might have a third chance. Only half cleared by Hunt. And onto it comes Jason Caldwell. Back with Woods again. Taking on O'Connor. Good positive intentions here from Shamrock Rovers. Can he pull it back this time? All the way across to Shamrock. Bohemians defence all over the place, and this one didn't quite come from a corner kick, but eventually, after a little bit of play between the corner kick and this, Rovers have gone forward up. Billy Woods with a brilliant bit of wing play, the goalkeeper with the save, Byrne with the finish. And Brian Byrne, who's had his injury problems this season, back in the side today after suspension, and that's his 5th goal of the season. Rovers 4, Bows 1. Rutherford for Bohemians. Trying to take on Shane Robinson. Finds Nesevic. He's engineered a yard. Now can he get the cross in? Looking for support. It comes from Simon Webb. Cross blocked away by Dave Smith. It was a good attack by Bohemians, although all they've got at the end of it is a corner kick. It'll be Hunt to take it. The big men are up from the back. One of the mistakes, brilliantly saved by Robbie Horgan. What a fine header by the Bohemian centre half. Denied by an even better save from goalkeeper Robbie Horgan. What a first half it's been, and it's even finishing on a high note. Superb header this from Hill as he moved backwards, and that's a great save. Morrison turning inside Byrne. Tackle from Caldwell. The head of Woods to Crow. Nesevic forward, Caffrey moving up in support. Cronin is there for Rovers. And it's out of Billy Woods. Two former Cork City players in the Shamrock Rovers defence. Hunt holding it up well. Morrison. Good cross this. Headed goalwards. Wonderful stop by Horgan. The first half was good. The second half starting just as well. And again, it's Robbie Horgan who does the business for Shamrock Rovers, keeping that 3-goal cushion intact from that brilliant header by Glenn Crow. Great save. Bohemians could be 4-4 by now. And now Shamrock Rovers winning a free kick for some pushing in the box. But Robbie Horgan has been the difference between the sides today. Not for the first time today, he makes the save. Sun coming out brightly now. As Bohemians try to get another goal that might just get them back into this match. Ronan clears. Rovers playing deeper since half-time. That's over the head of Brian Byrne, but he hooks it clear. Straight to O'Connor. Over the top for Malloy to chase. Inside for Morrison. Sliding in is Caldwell. And Brian Byrne clears for Rovers. O'Connor's cross looking for Rutherford. Headed back into the 6-yard line. And there's Nesevic with his first ever league goal for Bohemians, as the Shamrock Rovers defence was caught napping, and Bohemians back in the game after 61 minutes. Alex Nesevic has scored his 7th league goal of the season, but his first for Bohemians. The other 6 were for Finn Harps. It was O'Connor's cross. Mark Rutherford was at the far post, and as his header came back across, the Shamrock Rovers defence lost the Yugoslav, and that's a fine finish. Grant first to react when O'Connor made the mistake. A bit early to be playing for 90 minutes. We've only had 20 in this second half. Here comes Sean Marr, taking it out of defence for Bowes. A layoff from Malloy, straight to Pat Deans. Malloy battling back to win it. Showing a little bit of petulance as he faked to throw the ball at Pat Deans. Rugged stuff this. Kick from Pat Deans and a reaction from Malloy. Here's Hill's cross, and it's Gareth Cronin who puts it behind his own goal. Not for the first time this afternoon. And yet another corner kick to Bohemians. Fine cross that from the centre half. Taken by Hunt. Easily held by Horgan, who holds it up as Shamrock Rovers had 10 players back in their own penalty area. Here goes Brian Byrne, thinking he might going all alone. Pat Deans bursting through the centre. Rutherford trying to get back, and he's hit the post. But Billy Woods is there. The cross comes in. Dempsey can't hold it, and it's Tony O'Connor who will eventually clear for Bohemians. Great break that from Shamrock Rovers, the first we've really seen from them since half-time. And it was Pat Deans again, bursting through the centre, receding from Brian Byrne, and the shot so nearly putting Rovers 5-2 up. Deans beats Caffrey. The layoff from Grant. Better play this from Rovers. Byrne allowing Billy Woods to get forward. Oh, lovely play between the two Bohemians players. Sliding in was Tony O'Connor, and Caffrey finding Rutherford. Great pace to the game now as Bohemians come looking for a third. Taking on Dave Smith, Mark Rutherford. He could go all the way here, and it's Horgan with the save, and down he goes at the second attempt. But what a brilliant run by Mark Rutherford. His most emphatic bit of play since starting this match. Wonderful run. Here goes Shane Robinson. He's found Sean Francis, and he's put it wide. Should have done better, and he knows it. The reaction will tell you that Rovers might have restored their 3-goal advantage there. Rutherford gets there before Palmer. Bursting through the centre is Morrison, and he scored! And we've got a game on here because Bohemians have got a second goal back. Again, the Shamrock Rovers defence caught all over the place. Just a routine ball down the centre. Helped on by Nesevic. Onto it came Morrison, out came Horgan, and that's a really good finish from Dave Morrison. His third league goal of the season, and it's a third goal today for Bohemians. What a match here at the Morton Stadium. Bohemians back to 3-4. Damien Richardson beginning to show the frustrations. Game of two halves, they say. At half-time everything was all smiles. Now he's wondering quite what's going on with his team. Morrison gets it forward to Crow. In the way was Sean Francis, a chance for Rovers to break. Pat Deans, good interception from Dave Hill. Early ball through the centre. Crow might get there, and he's done it! What an equaliser! Glenn Crow, from a 3-goal deficit at half-time, Bohemians have come right back. What a game of football. Dave Hill with the early ball. The missed kick from Palmer found its way through to Crow. And before the Rovers defence could react, it was in the back of the net. It's Shamrock Rovers 4, Bohemians 4. Cronin's header. Robinson. Brian Byrne. Colwell. Woods, better passing this from Rovers. Here's Robinson. Chance perhaps to run out the defence. Trying to get away from Caffrey, and then pulled from behind. Free kick to Shamrock Rovers. Chance to slow things down a bit and take some pressure off their defence. Robinson leaves it for Caldwell. Couldn't find Brian Byrne though. Free kick routine that didn't work out for Rovers. Here's Deans. Gives it away, straight to Malloy. And here's Bohemians bursting down the field. Horgan has to play centre half outside his penalty area. Tackle from Smith, coming off Morrison, but he's kept possession for Bowes, who have 5 men forward. And one of them is running forward! And he's put Bohemians ahead with 11 minutes to go. And you can see the reaction from Roddy Collins. What a comeback for Bohemians. 4-1 down at half-time. And they have absolutely torn the Shamrock Rovers defence to ribbons in this second half. And it's Mark Rutherford, recently signed from Newrytown, who has given them the lead. A brilliant ball forward by Morrison, and a fine volley from Rutherford. And it's Shamrock Rovers 4, Bohemians 5, and we've still got 10 minutes to play. What a match. Up in the air by Woods. One in the air by O'Connor to Palmer. Can Rovers find an equaliser? Or can Bowes stretch their advantage? Morrison. Just over half a minute to go. Crow is not offside. And Crow has put it beyond doubt now. A most incredible performance by Bohemians. And Glenn Crow with his second of the day. Roddy Collins just can't believe his luck. From 4-1 down to 6-4 up. It's game, set and match to Bohemians. Crow with acres of space, and you just can't give a striker of his ability that kind of room. His second goal of the afternoon and his 21st of the season. Roddy Collins on the way to second place in the Aircom League tonight. Good finish, but poor defending. Fourth official, Paul McKeown, just picking up a bottle that may have been thrown in the direction of the Bohemians bench. Cronin heads it forward. The last action of a remarkable game. One of the most fantastic games seen at this venue, or at any venue, for many a long day. Glenn Crow with 2 second-half goals. Mark Rutherford with 2 second-half goals. From 4-1 down, Bohemians have come back to beat Shamrock Rovers 6-4 and move to second place in the Aircom League. A match that they had to win, really, to keep the pressure on Shelbourne. They went into this match 12 points behind with 3 games in hand. Now they're 9 behind with 2 in hand. And after this victory, well, really anything is possible. A remarkable match, an incredible scoreline. The final score, Shamrock Rovers 4, Bohemians 6.
We were very disappointed at half-time. We didn't defend particularly well, and you can't do it. 4-1 down, we said, right, let's prepare for next week. Let's go out and win the second half, at least finish on a positive note and get ourselves ready for the cup.
At the same time, we were still sort of saying, well, we can still do this, still get a result out of this, but I don't think anybody thought that we could score 5 goals in the second half and win 6-4. I hadn't scored in about 7 or 8 league games and cup games before that, so obviously I wasn't as confident as I would have been earlier on in the season, but just glad to get 2 goals to get to finish up the try spell that I had.
The ball is still on.